St. Thomas University Journalism and the New Brunswick Beacon present The Basement Files.
Happy holidays, and welcome to this week's edition of Basement Files. I'm Stephanie Sirois.
I'm Chris Brooks.
I'm Jenna Wright.
And I'm Johnny Cullen. Here are this week's top stories.
50 days after our elections, Premier Brian Gallant has changed provincial policies regarding abortion.
Black Friday came and went again, bringing the best sales and the best business of the year.
Hashtags are all the rage, but how much change are they making happen? A closer look at slacktivism in social justice coming up.
A recent change in abortion policy in New Brunswick has advocates on both sides weighing in. Premier Brian Gallant's decision to retract some abortion restrictions hasn't been set in stone yet. Here's Alex Corbett with more on that story.
As of January 1st, women will no longer require 2 doctors to certify abortion procedures as medically necessary. Liberal Premier Brian Gallant announced Wednesday the restrictions in the Medical Services Payment Act would be removed. This brings an end to one of the most restrictive abortion policies in Canada, but not to the controversy surrounding abortion in the province. The NB Right to Life office is located beside the abortion clinic that closed down last July due to lack of government funding. Executive Director of Right to Life NB, Peter Ryan, says that changes to abortion access are irresponsible.
So to open up access without really, there's no commitment that we can see on the part of the government to provide greater assistance to young women who may be pregnant and desperate. Is the government going to be offering them anything else? No, we don't see anything else but, well, you can get an abortion and we'll make it easier for you to do that. We don't think it sends a very great signal to the public.
Some, however, view the changes as a crucial first step in protecting women's rights. Reproductive Justice NB has been advocating abortion access for decades. RJNB spokesperson Jessie Taylor believes that New Brunswick is finally catching up with the rest of Canada.
So we're really thankful that the rule about having abortion performed by a gynecologist and also the rule about requiring a 2-physician referral in order to access the procedure, we're really grateful that that's gone. We credit countless hours of activists through decades to making that happen. Unfortunately, Premier Gallant did not remove the requirement that abortions must be performed in a hospital, and so that unfortunately lessens the impact of the first 2.
Both sides, for and against abortions, plan to hold rallies at the New Brunswick legislature in the upcoming weeks. Abortion might be more accessible in the new year, but the pro-life, pro-choice controversy is far from over. For Stu Journalism, I'm Alex Corbett.
A Fredericton area woman became a millionaire after checking her lottery ticket at a local gas bar. Christmas is just around the corner and many folks could use the extra spending money. What would you do with $25 million? You are more likely to be struck by lightning than to win the lottery, but Debbie Munn hit the jackpot when she brought her ticket in on Saturday night. Debbie's big win got Frederictonians thinking what they would do with $25 million.
Honestly, I've always wanted to travel around Europe, so I'd go there.
I would pay for my school and get my family together.
I'd probably set my family up for life.
On Saturday night, Munn walked into Johnny's gas bar with a ticket. Little did she know the winning numbers were in her pocket. Store owner Johnny Corey scanned the lucky ticket.
Hey man, took the ticket out, scanned it. I looked over there, so I called the hotline. Good. I pulled that paper out. Wow, I counted the zeros verbally, make sure it was $25 million. I go, there you go. You got to call the hotline, you won big.
Corey said Munn couldn't believe the odds.
And she basically left out here, and she said she got to share it with somebody. She did the winning dance, and off the way she went.
Debbie danced her way out of the store, but hasn't made it to the bank yet. As of right now, the check remains uncashed.
Students at Fredericton High School have been suspended following a demonstration 2 weeks ago. Supporters walked out on their last class on Friday to protest the appropriate attire and sexual assault policies. FHS Principal Shane Thomas said students are being suspended for inappropriate behavior near administrative offices. Sorka Byrne, one of the protesters from Fredericton Youth Feminists, said the administration is punishing those who speak up about the policies. Students were suspended for 3 to 5 days and banned from attending extracurricular activities.
Now here's the Basement Files' Joe Tunney with more on what's happening in Ferguson, Missouri.
Darren Wilson has resigned from his job as a Ferguson police officer due to threats of violence against his co-workers. Wilson shot and killed Michael Brown, an unarmed black teenager, last August. Riots broke out in Ferguson on the 24th of November as the verdict not to indict Wilson was released. The grand jury made this decision on the fact they did not believe there was probable cause for an indictment. Wilson was not asked to leave the force but decided to leave on his own accord.
It's that time of year again as stores are packed with holiday shoppers looking for great deals. The end of the American Thanksgiving marks the best sales of the season as Black Friday is celebrated across the nation. Black Friday, sometimes called Green Friday in Canada, is good for both customers and businesses. Tyson Hovey has the story.
Christmas is just around the corner, meaning shopping malls like this one will see more customers over the next few weeks. Black Friday originally started as an American tradition immediately following the Thanksgiving holiday, but over the last few years, Canadian retailers have attempted to challenge our southern friends by having blowout sales of their own. Phyllis Pendergast volunteers in the mall every Christmas and says things are just getting started.
We've had quite a few today. It's been steady. However, I guess personally I thought we'd have much more business today because it is Black Friday and there's a lot of people in the mall. But as it is day one, perhaps it's going to take a while for people to know that we're here.
Critics say Black Friday has nothing to do with Canada and should stay south of the border. On the other hand, Canadian retailers and customers are glad to have the sales, especially this time of year. For company owners, it's all about making the extra sale, and for customers, it's all about the big savings. Connor Doherty has worked Black Friday for the last few years.
Well, I started working Black Friday about 4 years ago now, so you'd think I would get used to it after a while, but it never ceases to surprise me. Every year I come here, I used to work at a relatively busy store, so it would feel overwhelming at first, but I kind of got used to it. But now is my 4th year, and I work at a different store, so I have no idea what to expect, to be honest. It took 10 minutes just to find a place to park at the mall, let alone getting in here.
The great sales not only made for busy stores, but for a busy city. The transit system was backed up and had some drivers running as far as 90 minutes behind. For Stu Journalism, I'm Tyson Hovey.
Cleanup crews are on the ground in northern Alberta. A Canada Natural Resources Limited pipeline just north of Red Earth Creek leaked crude oil on Thursday after mechanical failure. The Alberta Energy Regulator says about 60,000 litres of crude oil was spilled. Weather conditions over the past few days have made cleanup difficult, but the process is now underway. No damages to wildlife have been reported.
Mothers Against Drunk Driving Canada is taking extra measures to prevent drinking and driving this season. Over 1,082 Canadians are killed each year due to impaired drivers. Jordan Gill weighs in.
The holiday season usually brings good times with friends and family. Unfortunately for many families, drinking and driving will give the season a somber tone. MAD is hoping to stop that. Scott Kenny is the president of the Greater Fredericton MAD chapter and is hard at work on this year's Project Red Ribbon campaign.
And what it is we take red ribbons like this and we put them out around the community, and there's millions across Canada and change boxes and local retailers and whatnot. And basically we encourage people to tie it on something where it can be seen, whether it's a purse or a briefcase or your car or keychain, whatever. And it's just a reminder to drive sober over the holidays.
Constable Patrick Small is the Fredericton Police Department's liaison with MAD. He is hopeful that the partnership between MAD and the Fredericton Police will see a reduction in drinking and driving.
Well, I know there are still impaired drivers out there, and any programs that we can help MAD with and MAD can help us with is going to be improving on the reduction of impaired drivers.
Many people have been affected by drinking and driving, and Kenny is one of them. In 2009, over the New Brunswick Day weekend, his mother and son were picking up supplies for a family reunion when they were in a collision with a drunk driver.
On the way back, an impaired driver crossed the yellow line, hitting them head on, where my mother was killed instantly and my son was injured.
With stories like this happening all too often, Small believes that thinking ahead is the best solution.
It does make sense for people just to, if they are drinking, to find alternate transportation home, whether it be staying at a friend's place where they're drinking, getting a cab, public transit. There's a lot of different ways people can get home.
Canadian winters can make driving hazardous without alcohol being involved. Drinking and driving only compounds the problem. So do the right thing, not only for you and your family, but for every driver on the road and their families too. Don't drink and drive. For St. Thomas Journalism, I'm Jordan Gill.
A hashtag was created to spread awareness of the 219 Nigerian girls kidnapped in April. Hashtag Bring Back Our Girls is growing in popularity with more than 3 million retweets, but the girls are still missing. Apart from the tweeting, it appears as though not much effort is being put into bringing the girls home. Connor J. looks at the culture of slacktivism in social justice.
Idle No More, Bring Back Our Girls, Coney 2012. These are all hashtags you could find on social media in the past few years. They were all parts of social media campaigns trying to force good in the world. Do these sort of campaigns, this armchair activism, do they do anything? Merlina Lim is a Canada Research Chair in Digital Media and Global Network Society. She works as an assistant professor at Carleton University.
Whether it is Coney or other thing, is so oversimplified that it is easy. It breaks the barrier for people to jump into the conversation, which is good, but it is bad in the sense that it doesn't represent the actual cause, and it's not even a step to anything.
Jonathan Munn is a communications student at St. Thomas University. He's been a part of many of these social media campaigns.
The problem is with social activism on social media, it's great at first, but whenever you lose the interest of the viewer, of whoever it is, of the audience essentially, that's when it becomes a problem.
Munn argues that without awareness, a campaign really doesn't have anything.
Awareness is an essential aspect of a campaign, whether it be Movember or anything like Coney 2012. If you didn't have awareness, there would be no campaign, right? The more awareness you have, and social media is a great tool for that, the better your campaign will be.
Lim says there's much more to social justice than awareness. She believes it's just a step in the process.
Awareness can be a step towards social justice, but it is not in and of itself social justice. There are many steps toward social justice. Social justice is a movement. It's not individual action. It is a more collective attempt to change.
It's not uncommon for university students to graduate with over $30,000 in debt. Those who can't apply for student loans have to find other money-making options. One student sells narcotics to pay their tuition. The student prefers to remain nameless, but Sean McCollum sat down with him. Here's the story.
Student debt is arguably the biggest obstacle facing New Brunswick students to date. My name is Sean McCollum, and I'm down at UNB Fredericton campus to find out just what students are doing to pay that debt.
With tuition and living expenses, students pay around 15 grand a year. Many students require a part-time job and student loans.
I was actually at West last summer, so that helped me pay for school.
I work full-time in the summer, and I still need a student loan.
Got a line of credit, I work all summer, and I go out west, landscaping.
Not an uncommon tale, but one student has found an illegal alternative way to pay his fees. Working as a bouncer by night and a drug dealer by day, the student sold marijuana and MDMA to make some extra cash. According to him, he's been successful because many students use these drugs recreationally. We sat down with him to find out why he turned to crime to help pay for his education. Let's say weekly in the summer. How much would you make dealing drugs as your kind of part-time gig?
I'd probably move around 200. Like, it wasn't that much. Like, I'd probably sell about an ounce and a half every couple of weeks. So it'd be about 200, 220 bucks a week. But that was just for weed. By the end of the summer, I was more into like the ecstasy and Molly game.
If you had to say how much you made over the entire summer, just dealing, how much do you think approximately you made?
I made around $1,600, $2,000, something like that. Like, the money is pretty good. It's tax-free, so it's not a bad. If you don't get caught, it's not a bad gig.
So what do you think it says, say, having to resort to dealing about the state of tuition and student debt?
I find it says a lot about the universities in a way where, like, if you have to resort to doing illegal activities, it's sort of like a cry for help among the community, saying that, like, maybe we should lower tuition because there are good kids out there that are getting busted selling drugs that just want to pay for their school. The people that I know, they'll sell drugs just to get food, just to go down. Like, if you want to go out and, like, if they need this textbook, they'll go out and buy it. If they need new clothes, new shoes, they'll go out and buy it. While you're in debt, like you have no spending money. Like a lot, like the poor, broke university student is a stereotype that is true. So maybe they should really open an ear to that, open a door to who's selling out there, to who's trying to make extra money just to go to school, just to get a good education. It's just a really messed up situation where people are just trying to make money the best they can to pay for what they're trying to achieve. So.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Mm-hmm.
A Transgender Day of Remembrance vigil was held outside of Fredericton City Hall on Thursday, November 20th. Over 40 people showed up to light candles and listen to the readings of over 220 names of transgendered people who have been killed over the past year. Fredericton Gender Minorities Group and Iota Beta Chi Sorority hosted the event. One host commented that they felt both uplifted by the support of the event and saddened by the necessity of it. Transgender Remembrance Week is the third week in November.
Ned Bear has been a visual artist for the past 25 years. Specializing in making masks, he's branching out and making a powagon for St. Thomas University. Elizabeth MacArthur has more.
I'm making a representation of what I refer to as a pawagan, which is a spirit guide, spirit helper.
Ned Bear is an artist carving a pawagan to keep an eye on the spirits around the St. Thomas campus. The log of yellow birch was a tree damaged in Hurricane Arthur, which makes this pawagan different from others.
I've done these, numerous of these around the province. However, those ones were in living trees. Yeah. It's a green piece of wood. We had to sort of baby it. If it dries too fast, it's going to just pop open like a popcorn.
Dan Robusto, who works in Aboriginal Student Services, wants the pawagan to act as a teaching tool.
And I think it'll create a kind of an outdoor classroom space, a place for people to go and get grounded for a second, a moment of meditation before they go on to their chaotic academic day.
This is Ned's second pawagan in a log.
Well, actually, no, it's not true. I did one years ago at the Fredericton High School, and it's actually there now in the library.
It's cracks like these that Ned is trying to avoid.
For Stu Journalism, I'm Elizabeth MacArthur.
Are you ready to meet the big man in red? With Christmas only a few weeks away, excited Frederictonians gathered downtown this weekend to relive childhood memories at the Santa Claus Parade. Yufan has the story.
King Club of Nashwaaksis organized a superheroes-themed annual Christmas parade in downtown Fredericton on Saturday night. The parade started from Fredericton Exhibition Center and made a round trip through Smythe Street, Kim Street, and Queen Street. Christmas music, superhero lighted floats, and kids made the chilly wind less powerful. Downtown Fredericton heats up once the crowd arrived. Chris Dickey brought his family to the parade as a family tradition.
I always enjoyed it and had a lot of really good memories and wanted to share those memories with my kids.
Local companies decorate their business cars and trucks to promote. Superheroes handed out free coupons with their fancy dancing moves. Without serious suits, first responders all dressed up to kick off the Christmas season. Two performers from the marching band enjoyed the parade and preparing for the next show for the winter.
We're both a concert and marching band, and we rehearse every week, once a week, starting in about the middle of September and with a short break at Christmas, and we don't end until the end of July.
The Christmas parade ended at 7 p.m., and there are more winter events coming up in Fredericton. For Stu Journalism, I'm Yufan.
It's beginning to look like Christmas at Gagetown as they celebrate a 19-year-old tradition. Whether it's a family outing, a date, or you're just looking for something to do, Christmas in the Village is the place to be this weekend. Brittany Lively can tell you more.
It's that time of year again. Laughter, joy, and of course Christmas in the Village, Gagetown's own Christmas tradition. Over the weekend, many opened their homes and shops for visitors to experience the history Gagetown holds. Bruce Thompson, president of Queens County Heritage, stands in a historic site.
The house is famous because it is the birthplace of Father of Confederation Samuel Leonard Tilley, who was born in the bedroom just off the parlor in 1818. And since 1967, this has been one of our museum buildings, and we now have 3 historic sites. The courthouse up the hill and the Anthony Flower House in Cambridge Narrows.
Crowds gathered in small shops to purchase homemade gifts, tasty treats, and even unique ornaments. Even the old courthouse was turned into a decorative museum for this event. And if all this wasn't enough to get you in the holiday spirit, jolly old St. Nick stopped by.
My favorite place was at the Gagetown Legion.
Why is that?
Well, up there they have all kinds of all kinds of stuff up there to make you heavy. And I had to maintain my girlish figure by going around to places like that.
This is the 19th annual anniversary for Christmas in the Village. With next year being their 20th, Gagetown hopes to bring in an even bigger crowd with more fun for everyone. For Stu Journalism, I'm Brittany Lively.
When it comes to fashion, the Maritimes are far from being the next Paris or Milan, but that doesn't mean the industry isn't growing. From the first industry meeting here in Fredericton to a new design space in Halifax, Atlantic Canada is on its way. Emma Chappell has more.
Models, photographers, and designers came out to the very first Fredericton Fashion Industry Night on November 23rd. The event was meant to bring together anyone interested in growing the fashion industry across the Maritimes. Recently, events like Atlantic Fashion Week have helped to grow the still small industry. Designer and model Kaylee Reed was the driving force behind this event. She says she's seen tremendous growth in the last few years.
I think that things are looking up. I think the industry is really small right now, but there's a lot of really cool things that are happening that are going to kickstart this industry. So things like Atlantic Fashion Week, which have been happening for a few years now, but is really starting to gain some traction. And things like what we're doing here is just bringing more people together and getting people to collaborate more.
One of the biggest obstacles for designers in the region is finding the resources to produce and sell their products. Amanda Kincaid is the co-founder of the Nova Fashion Incubator. The incubator is set to open this month and will be a shared space for designers to start a successful fashion line.
Because people right now from Toronto and Vancouver and Montreal look at us like, oh, we're cute and we have kilts and we have all that kind of thing, but we don't really have fashion. So our goal is to change that perspective and say, no, we do have fashion and we have a lot of it. We have talented designers, we have talented photographers, makeup artists, models, and we have enough people to sustain a fashion industry. And I think right now is the best time to do it because there's people in Fredericton, there's people in Montreal, there's people in Nova Scotia that all want to do the same thing, and we just really want to be recognized, and really there's no reason why we can't be.
It may not be on par with the fashion capitals of the world just yet, but Atlantic Canada is definitely moving up the ranks. For Stu Journalism, this is Emma Chappell.
On Friday, nerds around the globe rejoiced as the long-awaited teaser trailer for Star Wars The Force Awakens was released. Although the full film will not be in theaters for another year, the trailer offers enthusiasts a taste of the first Star Wars feature film since 2005. The teaser is also the first look into the Star Wars production since Disney bought the franchise 2 years ago. Until the full trailer is released, Star Wars fanatics will surely be busy dissecting each scene from the 88-second teaser in order to predict the plot for the film, which is now in post-production.
Fredericton's Sports Hall of Fame took part in Sports Week this Saturday. Eager fans gathered at the downtown location to try interactive games and to learn firsthand about New Brunswick athletes. Emily McPhee has the story.
It was a celebration of sports and fun in downtown Fredericton as jersey-clad families made their way to the NB Sports Hall of Fame. The celebration was the first of its kind for the Fredericton location. Activities included this fan-friendly touchscreen, which allowed for an up-close and interactive look at some of New Brunswick's biggest names in sporting history. Eventgoers had a chance to take their shot with this sports simulation system that put the player right in the game without having to strap on a pair of skates. Even though Lillian Bent spent most of her morning behind the scenes setting up the event as a volunteer, she still had time to take in some of the activities, like building her own Stanley Cup.
I'm going to take the Stanley Cup home, and my dad will probably like it a lot.
Almost every hallway is filled with sports memorabilia and authentic gear once worn by big-name athletes. Executive Director Jamie Wolverton says it's important Frederictonians come to the center to learn more about their community through sports.
Over 240 New Brunswickers who are enshrined, and their stories are enshrined in our walls and our exhibits, and we hope that the general public will come in and learn about those, and through honoring our past, we inspire the next generation of New Brunswickers to participate in sport and be active and just to live healthier lives through their participation and activity in sport.
The event was meant to inspire a sense of community, and Frederictonians certainly felt that today. For Stu Journalism, I'm Emily McPhee.
Have you ever held a shiny black scorpion in the palm of your hand? Or touched the back of an alligator? Or pet a baby cougar? Little Raised Reptiles gave Frederictonians a chance to do all of that and more this weekend at the Exhibition Center. Lori Mazerol can tell you more about what those experiences were like.
This is not your typical petting zoo, but that didn't stop people of all ages coming to the Exhibition Center this weekend. This event was held by Little Raised Reptiles, a zoo based in Ottawa.
Everybody say hi, Noodle. Hi, Noodle.
Their goal this weekend is to give a glimpse of the planet's diversity of life, as well as show people how they can contribute to animal conservation.
Is an alligator a pet, yes or no? No, right?
Along with the presentations, the expo also had a large number of animal exhibits. These exhibits were spread throughout the exhibition center and featured a wide variety of animals, from massive pythons to tiny crested geckos. They even had some natural oddities, like this legless lizard, a species that is not to be confused with snakes. Some local species were thrown in as well. The staff also gave visitors some hands-on experience. Matt Cohornan is the man behind this event.
You don't know this, but your cat is a ninja in a teddy bear costume.
He has been working with the zoo for 15 years now, holding events and presentations just like this one.
I've just been obsessed with animals my whole life, and I was just the kid that ran around in all the swamps and stuff, and just started devoting my time and energy to learning more about it, and starting to teach people and overseeing the care and maintenance of the animals as well.
However, the real star of the show was this 9-month-old cougar named Keiko, playing in her pen with her plushy snake and stealing everyone's hearts and their gloves. Fredericton was the zoo's last stop for the year. After this, they'll be taking their animals and heading back out west. For Student Journalism, I'm Lori Masserol.
Well, that wraps up this week's Stories on the Basement Files.
Make sure to tune in next time for the latest stories. In the meantime, though, check out nbbeacon.ca for more St. Thomas journalism.
Thanks for joining us. For Stu Journalism, I'm Johnny Cullen.
I'm Jenna Wright.
I'm Chris Brooks.
And I'm Stephanie Searwell. See you in the new year.